self-made millionaire Steve Siebold says anyone can hit life's jackpot.
Steve Siebold is a world-class expert on mental toughness training for increasing sales, developing people, and managing change. He's a best-selling author and popular television interview guest on mental toughness for building wealth, getting fit, and excelling in sports.
How does a rich person look at money? What do they see? They see
lots of it.
And just available out there in the universe?
It's everywhere, especially with the recession. We have total chaos in the economy all over the world, world economy.
So they see opportunity.
They see opportunity because there's all these problems. Because where there's chaos, there's opportunity to solve problems, to make money.
Someone said that the rich, having made a lot of money last year in the stock market and maybe some money in the housing market, the rich have an obligation to spend that money to help the economy. And you say?
Why? Why are they obligated? I mean, these people didn't make their money robbing banks. They made their money solving problems.
Because it would be good for the economy.
So is solving problems. I mean, do people want their problems solved or not? If they want their problems solved, you're going to have to look to the innovators, the job producers, the creators.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Siebold.
All right, guys, welcome to the Personal Development Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Siebold, and I'm very excited today to introduce our guest, who I've known for about a year. I met her at the Gainesville, Georgia Rotary Club, of which both of us are members. And the most impressive thing is this young lady is 23 years old, and her accomplishments are that of someone 3 times their age, which is just amazing. So I'm going to get into her bio, and then we're going to ask her some questions, and you guys are going to really enjoy this. So her name is Atche Bilyal. Okay, Atche Bilyal is a multilingual international student, youth leader, and advocate for cross-cultural dialogue, ethical leadership, and financial empowerment. Originally from Bulgaria, she earned her bachelor's in science and international business administration from Tilburg University in the Netherlands, and is currently spending a year at Brunel University in Gainesville, Georgia, as a Georgia Rotary Student Program Scholar. Atche is the founder and charter president of the only English-speaking Rotaract Club, which is part of the Rotary, in Rotary District 1619 in the Netherlands, and has held several leadership roles throughout Europe and the United States. She is a gold award holder of the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award and was recently selected as a top 5 finalist in the program's International Youth Representative for the EMAS region. Okay, if that's not enough, she's currently conducting research on governance and financial performance in family-owned businesses in the United States, which has been selected for national and academic conferences. This fall, she'll return to the Netherlands to pursue a master's degree in finance and continue building initiatives that bridge markets, communities, and cultures. And to add to that, if that's not enough, she's an ambassador for Rotary International. She's the winner of the Lynn Clark GRSP, which is Georgia Rotary Student Program, part of the Rotary International. She's winner of the Lynn Clark Women in Leadership Award, and she's also the winner of the Brunel University Annual Speech Contest. So please welcome Atche Bilyal. Atche, welcome to this Personal Development Podcast.
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored.
Well, congratulations on all your success. 23 years old. You amaze me. Every time I get you go up and speak at our Rotary Club, I'm just, what you did a couple days ago, I'm just always blown away. And by your accomplishments and just everything you've done. So I've got some questions to get into here. And so I want to start out just if you tell us just a little bit more about your background and your childhood. How do you build an Atche Bilyal as a parent? That's what I'm interested in hearing about. Tell us a little bit about your background and your childhood, if you would.
So to get started, as you mentioned, I was born and raised in Bulgaria, which I think is a country that really supports academic success and is really encouraging students to engage in sciences and acquire knowledge, deep knowledge in these fields. So while growing up, I was always encouraged by my parents, by my teachers to really be curious, to learn as much as I can, and to continue developing myself, learning about different topics and just trying out different things. I've always had passion about like quantitative fields, as I attended the High School of Mathematics and Natural Sciences. And on top of that, I always wanted to do something more, and I was doing all these extracurriculars on the side. I've probably done everything that's out there already while trying to figure out what I really like, what I really want to get into, what I'm good at, and what I want to develop. So that really helped me shape who I want to be and who I'm becoming, as well as my parents always encouraged me to learn languages so I can connect better with people. They prepared me for this cross-cultural communication, and I always knew that I wanted to explore the big world and that my surroundings are getting smaller and smaller. So that, I believe, was really a stepping stone for what I wanted to build later.
Wow. Well, how many languages do you speak?
Oh, that question always catches me off guard, even though I should be ready at this point to answer. I always answer depends, because how do you even answer to this? Like, when do you actually master a language? For me, knowing a language is being able to communicate in it with people. For example, when you, let's say, Polish language. I never actually studied the language, but throughout my college life, I was surrounded by Polish friends, and I just caught it up. And at some point, I was so immersed into the culture, not only the language, that I could freely communicate, even like in academia and conferences. And I just decided, for example, to measure it with this, sorry, the, let's say, standardized European framework, and it was like B2. But honestly, I don't know how to answer this. It really depends.
I understand what you're saying. I'm still working on English, and and then I'm learning Spanish. But I tell you, it's a lot. I mean, it's amazing. How long it takes to really learn another language, especially when you're sort of isolated, like in the United States. So what drove you to take on so many serious projects as a young person? I remember being in high school and college and wanting to goof off a lot. And you certainly did not do that, which is great. But why did you take on so many serious projects? What do you think drove you to that end?
I just always wanted to do bigger things, and I knew that you need to push yourself and your boundaries as well. So I just wanted to bring positive impact and just like do something meaningful that's bigger than myself, but also helps people around me and is just on a bigger scale. It was never only just about me.
Well, I'll bet it. I mean, I'm trying to phrase this in a way that sounds right, but it would seem like you wouldn't have that many friends in high school when you're that serious of a student. Is that true, or did you have a lot of friends, or you know what I mean? I mean, how many people are really that serious that you go to high school with?
So honestly, I would say that I'm very social person and very extroverted. And I actually knew everybody. I was extremely social, and that was something that would recharge me to do more. And actually, that would be a reason I would pursue more things, just to connect with people, because for me, it's very important to get to know people from different backgrounds and that really fuels me. And that was also the idea behind the Rotaract Club that I chartered in District 1610 in the Netherlands, just as a way to create a home away from home for students from different backgrounds that are away from home, and a place that can make them feel at home, unite them with a common goal, common purpose, and values, and just be there for each other.
What made you want to study abroad?
Well, as I said, I always wanted to experience the big world. So I knew that I needed to expand my horizons. And at first, I was actually a Fulbright scholar, and I was planning to come to the US. But things went in certain direction that I chose the Netherlands instead. And I'm very happy, very grateful with my decision because, well, I'm in the US now. So I did both, for which I'm very grateful. And it really paid off because I studied together in a class with more students from more than 100 countries. And that's just untangible.
And so you've been in the US for about a year now, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how about Rotary? How did you get involved? Was it Rotaract? You got involved in the high school program or in the Netherlands? Is that how you started with Rotary?
No, actually, it started in my home country, Bulgaria, in Varna. I was in high school, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, do you want to join this very cool club? Let's join it together." And that's how we actually joined the Rotaract Varna Exinograd. And after that, I just moved to the Netherlands to continue with my higher education. And I didn't want to leave it behind. I was like attending the meetings and everything online, and it was during COVID as well, during the pandemic, and there were no in-person meetings anyway. But I realized that I want to create something within the community I was currently in and just start one there, as we didn't have a Rotaract club. And it actually took me a few years to get this idea started, get on the sponsored Rotary clubs, and unite people with this common idea. A lot of people hadn't heard of Rotary at all. Some were involved in, let's say, Interact, Rotaract, or their parents were in Rotary in their own countries, which was very interesting to bring all these different experiences together. And it's just amazing. But as I said, this thing about the community, I just strive to kind of bring back to the community wherever I go, no matter of the country, like in the US, for example. I always try to be involved within the community I'm in.
That's great. Well, tell us a little bit. You have a host family, and I've met them briefly at Rotary. But tell us about how that was. You lived with the host family for the past year?
I was actually living in the dorm, but currently I'm actually at my host parents, and they're just amazing. That's probably one of the best part of the scholarship, that I get this family, this home away from home, and I really get immersed into the American culture. It's also your support system. It's just amazing. It allows you to thrive and do more when you have good support.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah, that's what an amazing opportunity. Jeez. Okay, so you have to tell us about your invitation from Britain's royal family.
Oh, so recently I got an invitation, as you know, to be a speaker at the founders anniversary dinner in London at one of the royal residencies, which is just a great opportunity and something I'm very much looking forward to. It's as part of the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award Foundation, which with which I've been involved over the several years, and it's a program that really allows young people to go through this personal development, hone their skills, and just really be world ready, as the slogan goes.
That's wow, what an amazing opportunity. I mean, the connections that you're building, so early on before you really get started, in business or wherever you choose to go is that's amazing. Jeez. So now I know you're moving back to the Netherlands this week. So what's the next project? Is it your master's degree or is that the next thing?
Yeah, so it's gonna be a master's degree because I just want to advance further my studies. Um, I actually studied in like several countries, 4 countries to be more exact, but I really, really like Dutch education, and that's also a reason I want to continue my master's there in finance. But I would be extremely happy if I could do an MBA a few years later, maybe in the US again. We'll see.
You sounds like you could be on the road to being a college professor. It's all your academic prowess, and that's fantastic.
So my parents say that I'll never leave academia. That I'll stay.
Well, yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world. That's for sure. And now you're also going to Chicago on your way to the Netherlands. So tell us about what you're doing in Chicago. That's next week. I'm guessing.
Yeah. So actually, it's a conference called Risk World. And since I'm taking courses on risk management and insurance here in the US, I'm going there to this biggest conference in the field that is just going to bring all the risk management and insurance professionals globally, and will allow me to discover this field, learn from the best, and just immerse myself into the professional world in some way, get a sneak peek. Because as much as I love academia and learning, I really appreciate hands-on experience. I mean, I have 4 internships behind my bag, so I believe I'm trying to balance it out in some way with exposure and hands-on experiences and so on.
Sure. Well, I was glad to see that you studied finance and you're going to get your MBA in finance, because obviously there's, you can do really well financially there. And not that money's the most important thing in the world, because it certainly isn't, but someone like you with your background with money could help a lot more people than without money. I mean, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just the way the world works.
No, exactly. That's the point. And as someone who comes from Bulgaria, which is an emerging market, I would really try to bring back some knowledge and global experience back there, and really help the things get going and just grow more. So I would really like to contribute in a way, and I always looked at the bigger picture, and I want to do a global positive impact, but I also want to bring back to the places I lived in, and it just feels like the right thing to do, and that motivates me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Are you going to continue with Rotary International?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So that's still going to be a part of your plan going forward?
That's something that's been very constant in my life ever since I started, because, as I said, I consider myself a global citizen at this point, and Rotary is something that it's an organization that is almost in every country, and wherever you go, you will have the chance to meet a Rotarian, and it's just very different. It makes a big change in terms of, let's say, I went to London last year, and there was a Rotarian that we talked beforehand, that we met up there and showed us around, and it's just so much nicer to have this local friend, acquaintance to like show you around, to just connect. Because at the end of the day, fellowship and building better friendships as part of the four-way test of Rotary, these are core values. And I think not just Rotarians, but everybody should strive to live by these rules, to connect with people and just embrace good fellowship.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know, and you're really you could really do so much good for Rotary because, as you know, one of the problems is that it's aging out. It's too old. The average age in Rotary is 60 in the United States is 62, as you know, and that's way too old. It should be more like 32, which is still a lot younger than you are. But I think you could bring a lot of fresh ideas to this older organization that's really been stagnant for. I've been around Rotary for about 30 years, and it's been stagnant since I've been around, and at least in the United States and pretty much worldwide. I mean, for the most part, with some exceptions. But there's a lot of good you could do for Rotary, and a lot of, you know, and Rotary could obviously help you, and it has helped you. But so let me ask you this, Atche. 10 years from now, you're 33. Where do you see yourself?
Oh, this is a good one. But at the same time, I don't have a specific plan, specific vision, because I like to keep things. I like to keep my doors open and just allow opportunities to come and find me, being flexible. But I would definitely see myself continuing what I'm doing, growing, being in charge of a very responsible role, perhaps my own venture or just representing something big, having this big outreach, helping out as many people as I can, spreading this positive impact, and just perhaps it will be in the field of finance, not perhaps most likely, as this is something I want to pursue in a more deeper level. And I just think it's very important. And I mentioned earlier that I would like to help out, let's say, emerging markets, which my country really inspired me to pursue further. So I would like to unite markets, and as I like bridging cultural gaps, and that would be something of my focus, definitely.
What advice would you have as someone so accomplished, especially for any age, but especially at your age? What advice would you have for younger people coming up, let's say in high school and college, and what would be your advice to them?
Dream big, aim high, and just don't wait for the opportunities to come and knock on your door, because they will not. Just look for them. If you cannot find them, create them. Also, be very mindful of your surroundings, because as the saying goes, the 5 people you're spending the most time with, that's the average of who you are as a person. I truly believe that. And I think your community, the people around you really matter, and they should be motivating you, inspiring you, and lifting you up. So that's just crucial. You cannot do things on your own, and we are like social creatures, human beings. And I truly believe that fellowship, and in fellowship and in the power of community, because alone you can go fast, but not far.
Oh, that's good advice. Would you recommend to other young people what you've done as far as traveling abroad and doing some of the things you've done? Has travel impacted the way you see the world?
Oh, definitely. I believe everybody should leave their bubble, their comfort zone, and just go and explore. The world is wide, it's big. There's so much out there, and the unknown can be frightening sometimes, especially for young people or when you never left your home nest. But it's extremely crucial. It really builds resilience and this understanding, because you really also need to be open for to get to know other people from different backgrounds and experience all these things that come along the way. So yeah, just be very open-minded and go with an open heart and ready to learn and listen, and also to, of course, give back from yourself, from your own culture, because people are also interested in you.
And so, in what ways has international travel impacted the way you see the world?
Oh, a lot. I would say that it changed me so much. So that's also a reason I wanted to pursue like education in different countries, because that's also very different, like different systems, different ways. Um, I lived in several countries, spanning several continents, and I think that was the best decision I made throughout my life, because I feel like it also forces you to grow faster, but not in a bad way, but definitely in a positive way. You learn how to take better care of yourself. You learn how to be resilient, which is very important in this world. You learn how to face challenges early on, and you really are more open minded. The younger you are, the more open minded you can be. And if you start at a young age getting to know people from different backgrounds, different cultures, will not have these misunderstandings later on happening too much. We'll have better connections, better, I would say, more peaceful um, environment. But also, it's something that, like, practice always accelerates learning. And doesn't matter, for example, at school, if you keep learning about different cultures, different countries, that's not like in real life ever. Like, you really need to get out there, and of course this knowledge helps you, like gives you a background to understand, but at the same time you shouldn't rely too much on theory. Like, for example, we all have some kind of biases going to different countries, especially, let's say, the US, as famous of destination as it is. We all grow up watching American movies and seeing the lifestyle, and we already have this preset image and expectations in our minds. But I would say that it can be extremely different. Like, for me personally, it was very different and in a very positive way. But you really need to get out there, see it for yourself, and really try to connect people, listen to them. And it's so easy. It's just you need to allow yourself to be open.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's one of the problems we have in the US, especially like in our political environment right now, but really beyond that. But I think it's really been magnified, with the political situation we're in right now, which is just absolutely crazy, is that we're so isolated in America. And I mean, growing up here, it's so different when, I saw the world very differently, because you're just so limited to one country and one country's philosophy and all that. And then I started working all over the world, and you see that, well, there's a lot of perspectives. As to your point, which you said so perfectly, the biases, the way you see things, the way you see people, cultures, it all changes. And all of a sudden you start understanding that there's a lot of ways to look at the world. There's a lot of ways to do things. And And our way, the U.S. way, is not the only way. But honestly, as someone that's been, was raised here, that's a lot of the way we teach our kids, that we sort of are the center of the world, and there's other countries, but they're not really that important. I mean, it sounds crazy, I know, but that's really the way we grow up. And I think that's what's contributed to this political unrest we've had, because so many Americans are ignorant of traveling abroad, that they think that it's America first, and they're very nationalistic and all that. And I think a lot of it's because they've never traveled before, and they're ignorant to how the rest of the world lives, and that there's a lot of other countries do things a lot better than we do. We do things, we have our own successes, of course, but there's a lot of success outside of America all over the world, whether they're poorer countries or richer rich countries, emerging countries like Bulgaria, like you said. That it changes your perspective completely. And honestly, if people did what you did, in your life so far, where had the opportunity to travel and see other cultures and meet all these other different people from different, backgrounds, I don't think we'd be in the political situation of this whole, it's America first all the time and all that nonsense.
But also, to cut you some slack, in Europe, of course, it's so much easier to travel. And let's say my favorite joke ever is that you travel, let's say you drive around for 2 hours, the food changes, the language changes, the scenery changes, the people change, everything is completely different now. And that also makes it so accessible. And yeah. And especially with the European Union, it just allows you to travel around much easier, and all these like unions is just kind of borderless.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, they're the same with languages. Obviously, learning different languages, there's that, and I think it changes you completely. And that's one thing that we're really disadvantaged by in this country, is that because, like you say, because we can't. We're so far away. The only thing that's really close is Mexico and Canada. And, we don't have that advantage. But certainly the one thing, to your point from earlier in our interview, was that when you talked about Rotary being there, as I traveled around the world building businesses over the last 30 years, Rotary was always there, to your point, because they're in every country. Yeah. And probably like you, I would just call people up in those countries and say, hey, it's Steve from Rotary from the United States, not even my last name. And they would, well, sure. How you doing? And we'd meet for lunch or dinner or whatever. And all of a sudden you've got a friend in this foreign country you don't even know, just because of this Rotary connection. Yeah. That has to have been important to you as well.
Yeah, because you just know that you have shared values of some kind, and you just know that these people, like, you have something in common, and common cause that brings you together.
Yeah, no question. Let me ask you this. This is a little off track, but this is something that I think would be valuable for people watching this, especially younger people. What value do you think? I know you won the speech contest at Brunel University, so congratulations. That's no small thing. And I've been a professional speaker for 30 years. What role do you think public speaking plays in success in business and in life?
Oh, I think it's a huge role, because that's like 90% of the job. You need to be able to convey your ideas properly. You need to be able to speak your mind and really translate your thoughts and what you have inside to people, to the outside, externally, because you cannot expect people to read your mind. And if you want to advocate for something, you need to just be able to convey it in a good way, in a way that people will understand, in a way that people will be inspired, because that's a big part of it. You need to be touching. You need to tap into what would really, you need to touch them in some way. You need to try to connect with them, in my opinion. And it's just also it comes with a lot of practice. It's not just something you're born with, as people tend to believe. Oh, I'm not cut for this. I've never been good. I'm so shy. No, I used to be shy as well, but it just takes a lot of practice and just pushing and going out of your comfort zone. In the beginning, it's not pleasant at all. I was like shaking before going on stage, sometimes on the stage. But I will not forget the first year of my high school. I didn't speak English yet. English is my fifth language. So, in order to learn English, I wanted to really accelerate the process and also do something I've never done before. I joined a theater group in English and I got the main role. So I was like, okay, now I have to like get out
Now you have
there.
no choice.
Yeah, and I had to do two things that really scared me: be out there on the stage, perform, speak, but also in English, in a language I didn't know anything in. I couldn't even properly introduce myself. So that was a quick learning experience, but it's something that really, really pushed me in a positive way, because people are more supportive than you would assume. You know, we always think, oh, but what would people think? They would judge me. They would think this. They would think that. No, like it's never in such bad way. You should always be with a positive mindset and yeah, just go out there and do it. Like it's at the end of the day, it's not that scary. It's not that big of a deal. And that's the mindset I'm using, at least. Just nobody will remember. If, let's say, I fell on this stage today, they'll forget it tomorrow. Like it's not that remarkable. If I stutter or I say something in a wrong way, it will not matter. We will laugh for a bit, but maybe that's a good thing to happen because maybe that will bring the spirits up. So,
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think it's, public speak, you're right. It can be terrifying in the beginning. I think for all of us at some level, I know it was for me. But the power that it gives you in business and in life to be able to your point, to be able to speak out clearly and distinctly and hopefully people remember what you said or some of what you said. I know when over speaking all over the world for so many years, the Netherlands is one of my favorite places that I've spoken and traveled to. It's a wonderful place. The people, the Dutch are fantastic, I always remember all the bicycles everywhere. Bicycles everywhere in Amsterdam.
there are more bicycles than people. That's a fun fact.
Is that, yeah, I think I heard that somewhere. Yeah, it's an amazing place. Everyone should definitely go there. Well, is there a question as we wrap up? Is there a question that you wish I would have asked you or I should have asked you that you can think of that I didn't ask you?
Maybe what I learned and what I'll keep from my experience here in the US.
Okay, please tell us that.
So it will definitely be the first thing. The most important thing would be to ask people how they're doing. And when they ask me, I'll just smile and say good, no matter what, and just keep it positive. Because when I arrived here, especially that's the Southern culture that I discovered. When I arrived here, I was told that I was grumpy sometimes because I got so used to the, let's say, Dutch directness. I would just say things the way they are and just be so straightforward. And also, let's say, my background is such that we don't smile much. But I realized that might come off as offensive. So people would be like, why are you so grumpy? Or I was like, why do I have to say I'm good if I don't feel that way? But at the same time, people don't want to like sit there for hours and listen to what happened. So it's just a nice gesture to to like say hi, to ask about somebody's day, to smile at people when you're passing by, and to just be more positive and warm, yeah, towards people you don't know, because of course that's the context.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is. You're right. It is different, and the Dutch, of course, are very direct, which I
Yeah.
love. You know, it's just different, but it takes a little while to get. Oh, there's the cat right there, which takes a while to get used to, of course. But I agree that is sort of that is sort of an American thing, not so much a European thing. Well, Atche, I really appreciate you taking time. I completely expect you to take over the world in the next 10 to 20 years. When you become president of Bulgaria or president of Rotary International, or as I hear something on CNN, and I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised at all. I'll know that I expected all these great things from you, and you've already done so many great things. So I just want to say congratulations on all your success, and keep it going, because you're an inspiration not only to younger people, but to people like me and other people. Just just based on your background and your positivity and all the great things you've done. So congratulations. And again, I appreciate you coming on the show, because I know you're getting ready to leave the country. So thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to me, and you're so supportive, and I'm so glad that we met, and I just get to be mentored by such people that just show me better ways.
Well, I appreciate that, Shane. I hope we'll be able to keep in touch, and so I can keep up with your successes and your life and all the rest. So thanks for coming on, and safe travels back home.
As we say, doo-doo.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, you heard that. If you're not inspired after that interview, I don't know what to tell you. But Atche Bilyal, remember that name. Remember that name. Write it down, because she is probably going to take over the world, and she's just amazing. So once again, thanks for attending the Personal Development Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.